we don't want it on until somebody's there. Get feedback.
Of course, he loves art.
We will turn it on when somebody goes out there, okay? We will turn it on, but not yet.
Yeah, he's Kavanaugh, you can go over there. I see. Them kids, but, you know, I mean, think about it. We took this all the time.
Waiting on Commissioner Brown.
He's still got a minute. No, he doesn't.
All right, it's 6 p.m. I'm going to ask the sheriff to call this meeting to order.
Come to order. Commission's now open for business.
Has everybody checked in the roll call on your pads? Right quick, I want to make an announcement to the body and the audience. We may experience technical difficulty, and if anybody's iPad, there's several did not show up tablets. They are not iPads, the tablets. If anybody goes dead, you announce it, and we're going to cut off electronics, and we're going back to raise your hand. We're going to do everything manual. We're not going to sit around and wait on electronics, okay? All right. Having said that, the meeting is in order. We got one commissioner absent. That would be Commissioner Chambers. So, having said that, I would ask for the invocation. Brother Josh Jackson, are you in the room? Here you go. If you would come to the podium, and there's a little slide switch. If you would, turn that on when you get there. Pull the mic out if you want to, but the little slide switch, tap it to be sure it's on. There you go. All right.
Dear Lord, we love you. We thank you, God, for all your wonderful many blessings. God, I thank you for another day that you have given us breath in our bodies, for all your blessings and all that you do for us. I pray, God, that you would be with each and every one that's gathered here tonight. God, that you would give strength, that you would give wisdom in every decision that is made, God, for the betterment of this county. God, give each leader the strength and the wisdom that they need in these difficult times that we live in today. God, that it would be for the good of this city and this community. In your wonderful name we pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Jackson. I would now ask Commissioner Laura Nettles to lead the body in our pledge to the United States flag. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the next item, I would like to say right quick, to my left is a face you haven't seen before. In here would be Josh Barnard, and he's taken Mr. Pettigo's place tonight as parliamentarian, and he's pretty sharp in that subject line. So we want to welcome Josh here. Thank you, Josh, for filling in. Okay, we approved the agenda. I want to talk about the agenda briefly. It is normal protocol in a lot of business meetings to have consent items where without objection, by unanimous consent, items that are not contentious or likely to not be debated, the agenda approval process will approve the items that I have as chairman listed as consent items. So, having said that, I would like to say that the committee appointments, you have been provided in writing, all the committees with the individual names, you'll see their expiration date would be expiring either 2 years from now or 4 years from now, as the position may be. You have a committee list that erroneously, because of the confusion, we have a 911 Emergency Communication District which is a separate board and entity. We have a COM board, which is a 911, which is a interlocal communications board, and we have an EMA board. And all of those are so similar in appearance when we're shuffling through committees. The EMA board erroneously got supplied in your packet, but we have the position that's actually being appointed as Manchester City Police Chief Adam Floyd is going to be on the E911 Emergency Communications District Board. So that was provided you as an addendum, basically as a separate sheet tonight. There's one other thing in the preparing the committee assignments. There's one committee that was listed in there here under consent, and I do have to make you aware that the Board of Zoning Appeals is not a mayoral appointment. It is an appointment by the legislative body. Therefore, it is on there, and I have contacted the individual whose term expired this year, and that's Sammy Morton Jr. He does wish to stay, so I would open the floor for a nomination to
Mr. Mayor, I would like to nominate Sammy Morton Jr. For reappointment to the BZA.
Thank you. Commissioner Hirschman made the nomination. Is there a motion for nominations to cease?
I make a motion nomination cease.
Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor of nominations cease by raising their hand since it's not an agenda item. Okay, thank you for that. All right, so that name is now already included in your agenda that will be approved by unanimous consent upon approval of the agenda. So how this works, there's several, I'll do this a little differently the next month. I will group consent items together. I put them as in the normal position that we've always had these particular items, but to save any confusion in the future, this will speed up these long meetings. We sit through a bunch of voting and all that. So having said that, there's several unanimous consent items on the agenda. At this time, approving the agenda, if you have objection to any of those, now is the time to state your objection. If not, there is a motion. You have moved to approve the agenda. Commissioner Hirschman has. Commissioner Watkins has seconded the motion to approve the agenda. Is there any discussion on the agenda? You would push the amend button. Okay, do you girls see her amend? Okay, please state your amendment. Yeah. Yeah, everybody, for everybody viewing, we have brand new audio system. Do you think it's working pretty good? Everybody can hear, but the commissioners, you have to push your button, hold the button the whole time you're talking, okay? And so if you would now state your amendment.
The Law Enforcement Committee needs to make an amendment. We need to add a judicial commissioner recommendation.
All right, you want to make that 9E then?
Yes, sir, that'll be fine.
Do you want to go ahead and state the name for the judicial commissioner recommendation?
Yes, our committee went through the proper interview process, and Matthew Vance is going to be our nomination.
Okay, Commissioner Hirschman, are you okay with the amendment?
Yes, sir, I am.
Commissioner Watkins, are you okay with this amendment to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, having said that, is there any more discussion, amendments, or objections to tonight's agenda? There being none, we're ready to vote. The agenda has been approved with 17 yes votes. Thank you for that. Okay, moving on down, the resolutions of memorials, sympathy proclamations, and commendations. We have one tonight. It's a Governor's Volunteer Stars Award. Mr. Lamar Wilkie, would you step to the podium, and I will meet you there. Huh?
Do public comments.
I'm sorry.
Well, you go ahead and do this and go back.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm totally out of order. Sorry. Yeah, public comment. I jumped down there. I'm already ready to start doing this paperwork. Public comments, all right, here's what we're gonna do tonight. I apologize for that. The school board is the first up for public comment. It's not on the agenda because it's actually not a business item, but they do want to make a presentation, and we felt like this was the appropriate place for it. Thank you, Chairman Pro Tem Stubblefield, for bringing that to my attention.
Thank you, Mayor Hunt. We appreciate the opportunity to share with you all this evening. My name is Scott Hargrove, and I'm extremely proud to serve as the Director of Schools for Coffee County. I apologize to those commission members that were part of the Budget Committee, because you're going to hear some of the same things that we shared with you the other night. But before we begin, I'd like to thank Commissioner Tim Brown for attending our last night's board meeting, helping us celebrate some of our awesome kids at New Union Elementary. But we appreciate your attendance. Thank you. Our presentation will be short, transparent, and hopefully clearly communicated tonight. We're here to share about the potential of a new Hickerson Elementary School and additions to East Coffee Elementary School. When I landed as superintendent, it didn't take me very long to figure out what I've watched and observed from down the road for 20 plus years. As I visited our school buildings and tried to learn as much as quickly as I could about our school system, outside of Deerfield, here's what I learned at those visits. Outside of Deerfield in our middle school, our building are older or more experienced structures. The high school was built in '75, and that's the new one. Everything else was built in '61, '62, or prior. But I also learned in those visits that there's been an intentional commitment to maintaining our facility, our school facilities, and a vision for the future. I think the observations that I had speaks volumes about the value that our county commission place on education, investing in our young learners and our community. I also learned that our county commission and school district have been good stewards of our county tax dollars, and we definitely want to see that trend continuing. Now, everybody talks about the I-24 corridor. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't. But it's hard to believe that we're not next in some capacity. How long that will take, I don't know. But here's what I do know. Our friends to the northwest in Rutherford County, there's an expected 5,600 student growth next school year. To put that in perspective, our school district has roughly 4,200 students. So I'd be lying if I told you when it was going to hit, but it's coming, and we see that in some of our schools. In fact, Hickerson is as large as it's ever been student-wise, bulging to almost 270 students, and that's as big as that school's ever been. But the migration's coming. We just all would like to know when, because that affects our county and other areas as well. I'd also like to share with you how the physical spaces look very much different between East Coffee, Hickerson, and our other 4 elementary schools. The cafeteria spaces are much smaller, provide schedule changes. They have to serve lunch longer. breakfast longer because the spaces are limited. Our kitchens are also smaller in those two facilities. We don't have the same equipment in those kitchens. So conversely, our menus are different at those two schools than they are in the rest of the district. Gym areas, which we associate with athletics, but that's not the way we roll in elementary school. That gymnasium in an elementary school setting also serves as an assembly area. You have parent engagement activities, you have the play, you have productions that we all remember in elementary school. In those two facilities, the gym areas at East Coffee and Hickerson are much smaller, and it makes it a challenge for those two schools. Last but not least, and I didn't mention this the other night, our office spaces are much different, smaller at East Coffee and Hickerson than they are in the other 4 elementary schools. We'll be setting up tours for Hickerson, East Coffee, and New Union. And we would love for you to see the differences, the physical differences in those spaces. New Union is included in that visit because there's a stark difference or contrast between New Union and the other 3 schools that have those spaces, and the 2 of Hickerson as well as East Coffee. We appreciate your supporting our school district always and allowing us to share tonight. Deputy Director Kelvin Shores has a short presentation he would like to share with you, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hargrove.
I wish I could say it's really a short presentation, but there's several slides. I just gave you at the PowerPoint, but I'm not going to go through each and every one in depth. I'm going to hit the high points on each one of the pages, move on through it fairly quick. If you have a question, please ask and just let me know and call me out. We do have it on the screen as well. But as Mr. Hargrove says, or it said, we're trying to get all of our schools caught up to the same area in equity. This is something that actually started several years ago, back in 2010. It started out with Hillsborough Elementary and Deerfield Elementary. The board came to you and asked for funding to start taking care of our overpopulation, or if it started coming, get it taken care of so that when it's here, we're ready for it. So we started at Hillsborough in 2010, Deerfield 2010. There was a new building. Coffee County Middle School was built in 2014. And then we moved the middle school, the students over to the new middle school, opened up now what is called Raider Academy, which is a 9th grade academy. And that was in 2014. North Coffee had a renovation and an addition in 2019. New Union was renovated and had an addition in 2020. Then at the high school, we used extra funds and we added on 6 more classrooms. So we took care of it there. We're down to the last part. We're down to the last 2 schools, and it's the last of our plan, which is Hickerson and East Coffee. Our goal is to have all of our buildings ready so when the growth starts coming in, that we're ready to take care of that growth. And as I mentioned to the Budget and Finance Committee the other night, as our industries are growing, you could go to our industrial parks, they are growing. People are going to start coming filling those jobs, and we're going to need the places for their kids to be able to go to school. So that's where we are. We're looking at Hickerson and East Coffee, and I'm going to start going through this fairly quick. And like I said, if I pass over something, it's not that I'm meaning to. Budget and Finance got a quick synopsis of it last week, and it's going to be pretty quick again tonight. Otherwise, we'll be here all night, and nobody wants to be here all night because I've already heard we have consent agenda items to speed it up a little bit, right, Mayor Hunt? Yes. Why are we doing this? We're doing this for equity so that all of our students can get the same experience as the others. And these 2 schools are lacking in several areas. And if you go into the gymnasium, if you go into the cafeteria, if you go in the library, all these core areas is your main areas that's going to really show up. If you're able to make it to the tour, you're going to see the difference in the equity of where we are with those 2 schools. We're going to try to alleviate and address any issues at the sites, such as parking, buses, drop-off, pickup. And if you've ever been by Hickerson Elementary, about 3 o'clock, 2:50, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the old Tullahoma Highway is backed up pretty bad. It is a safety situation. I've been out with the principal there, Ms. Crabtree, Dr. Crabtree, and we've looked at trying to figure out ways to alleviate it. It's just that the building was built fairly close to the road. So we have some problems there with that part. To address enrollment and projected enrollment and also the growth that's coming to this area. We want to make sure that our buildings can handle the students that are coming. So those are our reasons why. What are we looking at? Addition and renovation at East Coffee. We're looking at adding a new building, a complete new building for Hickerson Elementary. So those are the two things. The total funding is extremely high. It's just where we are. It is approximately $69 million, which is a lot of money. That's a whole lot of money. Moving on to the next slide. We got in touch with our architect and engineer, which is Wold, and they are working with us. They were given two tasks to look at. One was to try to get East Coffee and Hickerson up to the same core as North Coffee and New Union, what they received, and building those areas so that the equity is there. Also deciding, what do we need to do with Hickerson? Is it going to be a better move to build a new building or just add on and renovate Hickerson Elementary? Wold was actually brought in May of 2024. This was when we started really looking more extensively with it. And so you could tell, this is not a quick, we're in 2026, as you know. So we've been at this a year and a half trying to figure out what direction we need to bring to the commission, and that's what we're doing tonight. Moving on to the next slide. What was in the study? We had the physical conditions, the capacity enrollment, utilization of the building, grade level organization, educational programming, security analysis, site conditions, and expansions options that we could do. We did bring in another group out of our area. We didn't go through Wold, and that is Harpeth Research to give us projections of our growth. We felt like we needed a third party so that it's not skewed in any way. It was a non-biased group, and that's where we came in with Harpeth. As we go through this, you'll see that on the slides that you have, the blue writing fonts is some of our main things that we're going to be looking at, our synopsis of what we're asking for and considering. Moving on to the next slide. The next slide is the needs and the maintenance of our schools that we need as of right now. So if we don't do any additions, renovations, these are things that needs to take place at our schools immediately. And as you can see, it's going to be some site and civil things, some exterior work, interior with ADA, accessibilities with the restrooms, mechanical systems, electrical systems, and so forth. When they built these buildings, the one at Hickerson, the main building was actually built in around 1948. At that time, we didn't have the technology we have today. Big difference, a lot of changes. The sizes of the classrooms are smaller. So those are a lot of the things that we started looking at. As we look through those things, do we put more money into what we have, or do we need to build new? And that's where it came in with the Hickerson as well on that. But as East Coffee, it was better for us to add on and renovate what we have. Moving on to the next slide is a mock-up of the School of East Coffee. It's what we have currently. Right now, the school is basically set up on a two-section model. When I'm talking about sections, I'm talking about each grade level, how many classes of that grade level. So if we're looking at two sections and we're talking about third grade, there's 2 classes of third grade. If we were talking about 3 sections, then we would be talking about 3 third grade classes. So whenever I'm going to be bringing that up several different times, I want to make sure you understood what the sections were. And that's what we have. With East Coffee Elementary, if you'll notice on the map, it has 4 with those little circles. They're all dark except for 4 of them. And those are rooms that are actually they're large classrooms that are not being utilized as a full classroom. So like a speech class, you might have up to 5 students in that speech class. You don't need a full classroom. You could get away with a half classroom. I'm saying that because there's a little bit of space for us to grow, but if you'll notice, there's only 4 of those rooms. So we could put 2 of those together. It's going to take up a full room. That's going to actually empty 2 rooms that we could put classes in, which is a total of about 40 students. We're trying to get ready for a lot more than 40 students. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we're talking about here. And also, when this was made was actually before this school year started. The STEAM classroom, the STEAM lab, actually has already been changed into an art classroom. We didn't have that program. Our board added it this year, which has been a really good thing for our students. But that classroom actually has turned into a art classroom. Moving on to the next slide is the current setup at Hickerson Elementary. Once again, if you'll notice, there's some open circles. After talking to the principal today, once again, this was before we started this school year. The one that says special ed and interventions on the left is actually now a classroom. We had the growth and we had to create another 5th grade class, so it's already been taken up as a classroom. The intervention class that is next to the media center and the music actually houses 2 intervention classes, which has 2 teachers in it with approximately 5 students on each one. And just trying to navigate that with having 2 classes of interventions going on at the same time within the same class or the same room is difficult. If you'll look at the one that says special education pre-K plus, that is a classroom that should be blackened in because that has 20 kids already in it. It's full. So as you can tell, Hickerson is even a more desperate need than East Coffee is, and that's due to the growth that they are having in that area. Moving on over to the next slide. This is from Harpeth Research. Harpeth Research did a study. Now, when they did the study, it was from Coffee County. Within Coffee County, we have, of course, Manchester, and we also have the Tullahoma districts. So they had to actually try to pull those out, and through the growth, they expected the growth by 2035 to be over 10%. And this is for Coffee County. For the school population, is 13%. However, when we start pulling out, of course, the Manchester City and the Tullahoma City, that starts making a little bit of difference. The growth expected for the 10-year growth for the Coffee County system-wide is at 5%. Moving on over, you'll see specifically we are anticipating higher growth at Hickerson. It's already been showing up this year itself. As I told you, we're already using some of those classrooms. Moving on over, you can see the other side, the yellow part. Hickerson enrollment numbers seem to be going according to trajectory. And if we continue to grow as we are, it's going to be busting at the seams within 3 or 4 years. Moving on over to the next slide. It has been brought up, well, can we redraw the district, the lines? The lines can be redrawn. Our problem is the school that is actually losing some students right now is New Union Elementary. The school that is growing the most is Hickerson Elementary. The problem we run into is between the two is a city. Their borders don't even match. So trying to get the kids to that area, it would create some problems, as well as the ones that do match, such as North Coffee and Hickerson. North Coffee is also growing. Once again, 15 years ago, the plan was to try to start getting ready for the growth that's going to happen in Coffee County. We're to the point we're down to the last 2 schools. When we get these last 2 schools, we're ready. Bring it on, we're ready, and we're able to take care of it. Right now, we could get in trouble pretty quick with Hickerson and also East Coffee. Moving on over to the next page. Hickerson immediately needs to be already built for a 3-section. According to the numbers that we received from Harpeth, that's the reason why we're looking at a 4-section school. Additions on Hickerson would give us that 4 sections, as well as start taking care of the traffic patterns that's created from being right next to the road. And also, it's going to come up a little bit later, but where we have to put the building for an addition, it's also going to create the same problem with the drive. And more kids you add, the more traffic you're going to get. They go together. Okay, moving on to the next page. Like I said, I'm moving through these fairly quick. This is your paper to take home so that you can look over it and ask questions later if you have. The next one is square footage. The pink is not meeting the standard for the current needs for the square footage for that program, that classroom, and so forth. As you can tell in East Coffee and also in Hickerson, there's quite a bit of pink there that needs to be taken care of. One of the things that we do look at is the core areas, and that's your gym, your cafeteria, your kitchen, the library, and the music room, is making sure that those areas are taken care of, because if you get to come to the tour, you will see fairly quick those areas are not suitable at the schools. We have very nice facilities right now, but the space is just not there. Moving on to the next page. Remodel square footage. As you can tell, if we go through, it shows East Coffee, Hickerson, and also if a new building was built. If we remodel Hickerson and do the additions there, there's still a few rooms that would not be up to size and up to what is the standard. If you look at the new, you can see the difference there. East Coffee would actually be taken care of through the remodeling. Moving on to the next page, security analysis. This is blurred out for a reason. We do not share the security of our buildings because of what it is. It's just one of those things you do not share out. But there are things that we are looking at to definitely make it even more secure. And of course, the new building would be much more secured. And then the other things that we could change at East Coffee to make it even more secure than it is already. But I'm not going to go over those. If you have questions later, I'll be glad to talk to you one-on-one on those type of things. Moving to the next page is show how the site can actually accommodate the proposal. The first page or the map is East Coffee Elementary. East Coffee is is a fairly good distance from the road. There's enough land and area that you can see there's where they put the yellow area or to the left of the building that we can add on fairly easily and take care of the needs at East Coffee. Switching on over to the next page is Hickerson Elementary. And this is with the building. You can see where the old Tullahoma Highway is located in front of the building. To put an addition to it, it would be going out the back. Once again, the struggles is going to be with parking and pickup and staging cars throughout, as well as buses. So that's a difficulty. Also, if you'll look over to the side, it says we have approximately 200 to 260 feet to the left of the building going into the woods. There's already a ramp where we added on the 1996 edition, which was the last edition added to this school. And if we go further out to the left, it actually will drop it down a story lower than the main building, which is significant. So those are some of the reasons why it's better for us to look at doing a new building. Moving on over to the next page. Recommendations. There should be equity between all of our elementary schools. While enrollment projections show slow growth district-wide, we are still growing. We need to be ready for that growth. Boundary adjustments alone cannot accommodate the long growth. It can do some quick fixes. The site at East Coffee can easily be addressed by adding a building as well as doing the renovations. The traffic is not a problem. At Hickerson's a different story. Before investing additional maintenance funds at Hickerson, a long-term decision needs to be made, and educational spaces should be appropriately sized for each building. Once again, we're looking at East Coffee, 3 sections for the growth, 4 sections at Hickerson, and that's going off of the numbers that we have today. Looking at the next page is a visual of possibilities. This is truly a possibility setup. This is not set in stone. This is to show what could be done to make it work. East Coffee is the first one, going out the back end with a gym and stage and music area. If you look to the left, there's a blue area for kindergarten, pre-K, and special ed. And then over to the right, you have the fifth and the fourth and fifth adding classrooms going out that side. Just kind of gives you an idea of how it could go together. Looking at the next page, you can see East Coffee is with the map of it, or where there's a possibility of making this work, and the building going out to the back, as well as those two I mentioned to the right and left of the building. Going to the next page is the Hickerson layout. This is the layout that is that the architects provided with a new building. So the old building, after the new building would be built, the old building would be demolished. The parking would be taken care of, and you can see that by the yellowish green lines. And you would have plenty of room, and there's enough space for the building to fit on the current site. Okay, moving on to the next page is the budgetary numbers, and this is the hard part. This is where it really hits. We're looking at a lot of money. There's a whole lot of money here. And I'm gonna go back to what I started off with, talking about what the plan was, where things has been taken care of by this commission. Hillsborough started, and we did addition and renovations in 2010. It cost $4 million to take care of what they needed. Deerfield, we built the entire new building for $11 million. That's 2010, 15 years ago. Coffee County Middle School, 160,000 square feet, $24 million. Raider Academy, I don't have the price on it, but after we moved the middle school over, then that relieved and gave us a whole nother space for our 9th grade. North Coffee, that was in 2019. We're only talking about, well, 7 years ago now, if you want to say it. And we added 22,000 square feet, $5 million. New Union, same thing. It was in 2020, 6 years ago, $5 million. And here we are now. We're looking, well, at the high school, we added 6 classrooms. We were able to pull it off about $800,000. And here we are asking to do the same things just about with Hickerson and East Coffee, except for adding a whole new building at Hickerson, which is a big difference. But we're asking for $69 million. My question is going to be is what are we going to look at if we hold off and wait for another 10 years? How much more is it going to be? I don't know where it's going to go, but I don't see prices going down. And I almost feel like we missed that chance of hitting that cheaper price. But we're where we are, and we've got to keep going and finish the job is kind of where I'm at. Okay, moving to the next one, which is the timeline. We would like for it to be able to get open in 2027, fall of 2027. For that to happen, we have to get some movement going pretty soon and get the architects started now. And that's saying a whole lot. But you can see the timeline for East Coffee, for it to get started and for us to open up in fall of 27, we would need to get funding pretty quick. And for Hickerson, which is the next slide, even quicker. We need the money now so that we can get started and get it opened up and get these things taken care of. Moving to the last slide, or next to the last slide, the recommendations from us is we believe that this is the best approach to address immediate, current, and future enrollment projections. And that's from a third-party group. The proposed projects are needed to provide an equitable and appropriate experience between the schools and the communities. While the projects are large, the recommended solutions are the least disruptive for the students in the communities. And I said it 2 or 3 times, $69 million is a lot of money. But we need to finish it. We need to finish where we are in the planning that we had. And I'm open to any questions. And if you don't have any tonight, like I said, please take this home, read through it. If you come up with any questions, please send me an email. I don't mind giving you my email address. It's shoresk@k12coffee.net.
Thank you, Mr. Shores. Does any commissioner have any questions for him? It'd be good to ask them now while we got him on camera.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt.
Commissioner Miller.
I guess my question is, what is the effect on the taxpayer citizen from what it is now to what it will be?
And something like that was actually asked the other night by Mayor Hunt, and you are the funding body, and I don't know what the effect is. That's the reason why I'm coming to you as the funding body, and I'm into the education world of it, and I don't understand or know that part of it from the commissioners. Yes, ma'am.
How much of this money do you already have?
Right now, we're asking for the complete amount. We do have a fund balance that is a very nice fund balance that I feel like the school system has done a very good job on attaining. That fund balance is truly, we use it as what the fund balance is for. For us to not to have to come down here and ask you for things every year. Our goal is to not bother you with if an air conditioner goes out. If we have to change out something or need something through the schools for maintenance, it's not to come down here. We've got it to take care of it. And we try to be very good stewards of what we do have and what we spend and how we use those funds so that we can use it as needed. So as of right now, we are coming to you as we need the full funding.
Ma'am, to also add to that, interject, we'll meet with our board and we can discuss that area. But we are proud and we try to follow the leadership that happens here on being good stewards of our money. And I think we've tried to do that, accomplish that, so. But we would meet with our Board of Education. Have that, yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any more questions from the commissioners?
Yes, ma'am.
Where did you get these figures? Are these, you obviously have not put it out to bid,
Correct.
so where did you get them?
We use Wold Engineering and Architects, and they are a international building and engineering group that are building on regularly every year are putting up many buildings in many schools. So they actually use what they have from all that information to come up with the numbers. But they're nationwide, so they have the.
Any
they
more
have that, so.
questions for Mr. Shores? There being none, I appreciate the presentation.
I want to say thank you for this commission and thank you, Mayor Hunt.
You're very welcome. Okay, moving on with public comments. Is there anybody has signed up for public comments regarding business items on tonight's agenda? And I will remind you, what you just heard is not a business item on tonight's agenda. So is there any public comment regarding agenda items? There being none, we need to move forward with approving the minutes from our last legislative body meeting. Is everybody's tablet still up and running? Okay, good. All right, we have the motion to approve the minutes by Commissioner Morris, seconded by Commissioner Jones. Are there any additions, changes, corrections to last meeting's minutes or discussion thereof? There being none, let's vote on the minute approval. The minutes have been approved with 15 yes and 2 abstain. I can explain the abstaining. Individuals, we were always taught as commissioners and body members that it's generally not acceptable to vote to approve minutes of a meeting you did not attend. So you'll see that from time to time why people would abstain because it's officially correct. Okay, the minutes have been approved. Now, Lamar Wilkie, I think we are ready for this. Governor's Volunteer Stars Awards recognition. And this individual is present tonight that is getting this, so I would ask her. Miss Jennifer Simmons, please step up here with Lamar and myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, in conjunction with the 17th Annual Governor's Volunteer Stars Awards, which is Tennessee's statewide volunteer recognition program, Jennifer Simmons was selected as the Coffee County honoree for 2025. She was selected based on her decades of community service efforts with Coffee County Rescue Squad, and her coordination of the Gene Taylor and Steve Graves Christmas Foundation ensures that children in Coffee County have food and toys for Christmas. They sacrifice a lot of personal and family time, she and her husband, Chief Neil Simmons over there, to make sure that we are safe. So again, congratulations, Jennifer, on your selection.
Lamar, would you please tell them a little bit about the process? Your position is
I
the
am
director, right?
coordinator.
Or coordinator, there you go. And if you would explain to the public.
Well, the Governor's Volunteer Stars Awards program is established by Governor Lee. He appoints Volunteer Tennessee, which is a 25-member board, to oversee volunteer efforts in Tennessee. This is one of their recognition programs, and it recognizes volunteers who have displayed exceptional dedication to their communities in each of the 95 counties. Only one adult and one youth volunteer can be selected for any one county each year. As coordinator for Coffee County, I have a selection committee who reviews nominations. They don't know who the other selection committee members are, so I'm the only one who knows who they all are. They score each nomination individually, send me the scores, and I tabulate them, and the high score is the selectee, which was Jennifer Simmons this year. And so we keep it as unbiased and as objective as possible in Coffee County.
Thank you, Lamar. Lamar Wilkie, he does a lot of work with the VFW in this county, and we appreciate everything he does. More so, our first responders. Jennifer, as been stated, she is with Coffee County Rescue Squad. They're pretty much volunteer. You don't get a big paycheck there, do you? You know, our volunteer fire departments, the Coffee County Rescue Squad, those are not really arms of Coffee County government, but we do contribute and we appreciate the services and the first responses that they do give. This certificate of recognition is awarded tonight to Jennifer Simmons. Is awarded this certificate in recognition of who has served, I've got to put my glasses down, who has served the people of Coffee County by volunteering with the Coffee County Rescue Squad since 2003. You were just in grade school, weren't you, when you started? So anyway, having said that, we do appreciate you immensely and everything that you and your husband, Neil, back there do, along with all the rest of the volunteers of the Coffee County Rescue Squad. So there's you something to stick on your desk. Thank you, Lamar, for your work. I didn't get to announce who made the motion or the second on accepting that. I think it was Commissioner Hodge made the motion to approve this proclamation, seconded by Commissioner Hollingsworth. Is that correct? Okay, and everybody has voted, so the results are 17 yes. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Jennifer. Okay, moving right along. Now we're up to if I'm not skipping all of this stuff, that's why I will have consent items grouped together, so we do these individual items a little bit more efficiently. Now, the next thing would be the 9D. Is that what you guys got? All right. WW, that acronym, that's WWTACC, is the Water, Wastewater Treatment Authority of Coffee County. That's the entity that is not an arm of Coffee County government, but it's the entity that takes care of the STEP system out at Wayside Subdivision. STEP system, it's an acronym for septic tank effluent pump. That's what goes on out there. We've had several resignations. The board that controls that authority did not have enough members to conduct business. It's a 5-member board. They only had 2 members. So tonight, I have appointed Commissioner Jeff Perry from Manchester. We have Attorney Matt Harris, who is present in the audience, and also Commissioner Tim Morris. Those 3 individuals have agreed to serve on that board. We will, tonight, I think I need a motion to approve these 3. I have the motion from Tim Stubblefield, Commissioner Stubblefield, seconded by Commissioner Nettles. It is now open, this item is now open for discussion. Does anybody have any questions for these 3 individuals? Attorney Matt Harris, I think, brings an attorney. Would you like to speak briefly on your appointment to this board? Yes, there's prerequisites regarding those the descriptive language of Tennessee statute that sets up these authorities. There are, if you guys approve these 3 names, before the body meets and conducts any business, I'm going to shoot the comptroller's office a letter revealing to them the new board members and be sure they're fully compliant. So when they start acting in their capacity as operating authority, I want to be sure they're compliant before that. I've instructed them not to conduct a business. But anyway, if there's any discussion on these appointments or that board or our involvement in it, now be the time for that. Are there any discussion? Anybody have any questions? Have you got this set up to vote on these one at a time or all 3? All 3 together, okay. All right, so with there being no discussion, I'm ready for you guys to vote on these 3 appointments. Okay, these appointments have been approved with 16 yes. Commissioner Morris abstained because he's actually voting on his own name, but I always, when you do a group appointment like that, I always made the disclaimer that I voted because I was voting for the other 2 people. So that's what they did as well. I just want everybody to understand why he abstained. So appreciate it. Thank you. The people out there deserve a board that works, and I hope these guys bring it to the table and get something done out there. All right, the unfinished business, that would be the next item is 91-140, a budget amendment. I'm sorry, what? Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. I got it scribbled out here to the side. Commissioner, I always want to use your last name, your married name, and then I know, Missy D. Ford. You had an amendment. and if you would state your nomination.
The Law Enforcement Committee would like to nominate Matthew Vance for the open Judicial Commissioner position.
Nobody has to second that nomination, but does anybody want to second the nomination for Judicial Commissioner? We have a vacancy. All right, Commissioner Stubblefield seconded that. Okay, are there any other nominations for Judicial Commissioner? This is just a recommendation from law enforcement. There being none, does anybody have questions for Mr. Vance? You are in the room, correct? Raise your hand, please. There you go. Does any commissioner have a question for Mr. Vance? There being none, the motion by Commissioner Miller, seconded by Commissioner Hollingsworth, with no discussion, we're ready to vote. Commissioner Morris, is yours working? There you go. Okay, congratulations, Mr. Vance. You have been appointed by this legislative body to fill the position of Judicial Commissioner. I would like to add, I think you are required to be sworn in, which normally would be conducted by our county clerk, who's unfortunately out of town. So I'm thinking that you could get with one of the judges. Would you weigh in on that, county attorney? Would you say he could get one of the judges to do it immediately so he could go right to work, or how would you do it? Teresa's not going to be back till next week.
I think it would be fine for one of the general sessions judges to do that, or circuit judge, either one.
Okay, if you would, you can take care of that, and send me an email or something confirming that you have taken your oath of office. Don't make any decisions until you have done that, just so we're on the right page, okay? Thank you for willing to, go ahead.
The clerk may have a form for him to sign as well, acknowledging that he's taken that oath that she keeps in her record.
Yeah, that's true too, yeah. All right, moving along. 10, unfinished business. That would be Budget Amendment 91-140, which, right quick, that was an allocation from rural capital projects of $35,000 to be spent on water line materials for J.E. Sartain Road. And it has been put off. This is the third commission meeting that this item has been on the agenda. It's been postponed 2 prior meetings, so it's on the agenda, and it has stayed on the agenda. So we need got a motion from Commissioner Herschelman, a second by Commissioner Morris. The floor is now open for discussion. No discussion. We're ready to vote, please. This motion has passed with 14 affirmative votes and 3 no votes. This, just so everybody knows, this money is not spent until Manchester City agrees to install the pipe. So appreciate it. The people on J.D. Sartain Road appreciate your vote. Now, moving on to new business, the financial summaries. I hope everybody, it's in your packet. I hope everybody reviews that. Got some pretty good numbers. What's interesting in the summaries is that we're at exactly, December the 31st means we're exactly 50%, halfway through the budget cycle. And if you look at all the different departments, Mariana has provided what percentages of the budgeted expenditures on each department, where they're at this point. And I think most everybody's right at between 44 and 48, 49, 50%. So all your department heads are doing a pretty good job. Moving on down to, I think the next one that is not consent is the 11D, was that correct? Commissioner Watkins, you want to tell us just a little bit about that one?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is a grant that was given to us by the Tennessee Corrections Institutes, which are a governing body for the jail. This is a grant, a non-matching grant, 100% funding for training materials and equipment that we'll be using for our corrections officers.
Thank you for that. We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Morris, seconded by Commissioner Nettles. Floor is open for discussion. There being none, let's vote, please. This has been approved with 17 yes votes. Thank you for that. Moving to 11E. This is a preventative maintenance agreement. Commissioner Stubblefield, would you like to speak to that briefly?
Yes, can you hear me? Okay, that's a maintenance agreement that we have been paying every year. It's on the EMS, the ambulances, the cots, the striker cots that we have, and some other equipment that we have have Stryker to do a maintenance on it each year, and it comes for review each year, or approval each year.
For 5 years. This one is for 5 years.
Okay. Excuse me, this one's for 5 years, but I think this is the second time we've renewed it, or, okay.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Hirschman, seconded by Commissioner Duncan. Is there any more discussion or questions regarding this? There being none, let's vote, please. This has been approved with 17 yes votes. Thank you for that. Moving to 11F. This is resolution. This is our first resolution of the year. This is 2026-01. This is a recommendation from our Regional Planning Commission, which changes the language regarding easements and public road abutment of parcels in the urban growth boundary only. It does not affect anywhere else in the county, just the urban growth boundary. The language in there now states you must abut a public thoroughfare by 50 feet to be able to get a building permit for a house on that parcel. In the urban growth boundaries, we are now reducing that abutment to 30 feet. It has to get wider as it goes back if you're going to build a house on it, but abutting a public thoroughfare, you now, if you have a parcel that can abut the street 30 feet, you're good to go. Motion by Commissioner Hirschman, seconded by Commissioner Smith. Are there any discussion on this zoning resolution amendment. There being none, let's vote. This amendment has been approved with 17 yes votes. Thank you for that. There was a public hearing at 5 o'clock regarding this, and there was absolutely no one interested in objecting to it. Now, we're to 11G, which is Resolution 2026-02. And I'm going to let our Budget Director, Mary Anna Edinger, speak to this into her microphone. I'm sorry.
I was wondering if you were going to do a motion first before I spoke. Okay, about 6 years ago, we refunded, which actually means refinanced all our debt. Interest rates at the time had dropped. We were able to capture significant savings. And during that period of time, we've also paid off debt. So the fund balance has accumulated to a point where we have a little bit of a surplus. And due to the fact that we have several projects that need to be done, one's the Justice Center roof and the Tullahoma Library roof, I did not think it was appropriate to borrow money when we had a huge fund balance already in general debt service. So I had a meeting with our Director of Local Government Finance with the state and asked, could we not move some of that money from general debt service over to our capital projects in order to fund these projects? Because it did make sense to me to issue debt when we had such a strong fund balance. It was almost $12 million. So they said, yes, that is correct, you can do that. And this is the funding mechanism. It looks a little funny because it says interfund loan. We're not actually borrowing our own money. We're just moving it from one fund to another. So that's what we talked about at Budget and Finance, and that's what we'd like to do to fund these projects.
Does anybody have any questions? Any discussion regarding this? Oh, yeah, I see. I'm looking at my TV screen now. Commissioner Hodge, you have the floor.
Yes, just a clarity, this was taken by the Budget Committee, and they approved of this?
Yes, the budget amendment, this is really loud. It was earlier on the consent agenda. There's actually two. One is reducing the fund balance, and the second one is actually moving it over to capital projects. We also intend to pay off a capital outlay note that we had issued for the improvements to this roof. That would pay that off as well.
Thank you for that clarity, I appreciate it.
And Mayor, I think it sets a good example to our stewards or our children and stuff that come after us, that as you pay as you go, we don't incur debt and we don't pay interest to somebody. We're using our own money to pay for this stuff.
Yeah, thank you for that.
And it went through Budget and Finance.
Yeah. Any more discussion or questions? This was a motion by Commissioner Hirschman to approve, seconded by Commissioner Stubblefield. We're ready to vote. It's been approved with 17 yes votes. Thank you for that. Okay, the budget calendar. Everybody knows what that is. That's the days that the budget and finance are gonna be earning their keep. So, have a motion by Commissioner Stubblefield, seconded by Commissioner Watkins to approve this budget calendar. Anybody have any comments or discussion regarding this? There being none, let's vote. We have, this has been approved with 16 yes and 1 negative. Thank you for that. The last thing, let's do standing committees. Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. Okay, Budget and Finance, Commissioner Morris.
Our next meeting is February the 26th here at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you. Capital Outlay, Commissioner Terry Hirschman.
Our next meeting is on February the 5th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I will give you a brief update on what's going on in capital outlay. We have been watching over the health department and the animal shelter as it's being constructed, and both projects are in full steam ahead right now. The health department is probably ahead of their schedule. The animal shelter is probably behind on their schedule as we see it right now, but they are progressing very quickly right now. So everything's going good.
Okay, thank you. Health, Welfare, and Recreation, Hollingsworth, Commissioner Hollingsworth.
This will be meeting Thursday night, January 22nd at 6 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Law Enforcement, Commissioner D. Ford.
Nothing new to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Legislative Committee, Commissioner Watkins.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Policies and Procedures, Commissioner Hirschman.
Our next meeting is on 26th of January of this month. We moved it from the 19th. I think they have not re-updated that in the calendar, but it is on the 26th at 5 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that, Commissioner Stubblefield, Chairman Pro Tem Stubblefield. Okay, now, before we do statements and announcements from the commissioners, we have a guest, Miss Daphne Gregg. Would you please come to the podium? And she wants to pitch something to everyone that's listening. She's with the Manchester Library, by the way. You know your mic is not on. Would you find the slide switch, please?
Is better?
Yes.
So I do work at the Manchester Public Library, but today I am coming to you as the board chair of the Imagination Library of Coffee County. So that is the Dolly Parton books that we get in our county. Out of 95 counties in the state of Tennessee, we are in the top 10% and almost in the top 5% for enrollment. That being said, when I say average, I mean that kids are being born every day and kids are turning 5 and aging out of our program every day. In Coffee County, we're currently reaching 78.42% of the eligible children in the Imagination Library. This translates to just shy of 3,000 kids a month. Our book bill is about $2.50 a kid, and part of that is funded by the Guelph Governor's Early Literacy Foundation. Coffee County is celebrating their 20th anniversary for giving Dolly Parton books and giving kids a piece of magic in their mailbox every single month. However, with that being said, the money is limited, and in order to keep this program going, we are changing leadership. I took office today as board chair and changing some strategies to keep this going. One of the things that we have is a Dream with Dolly fundraiser on February the 6th. You can buy your tickets or you can sponsor. You can also make a donation to help us with that book bill. Again, our book bills are a little over $3,000 a month, and as of right now, we only have 3.5 months worth of funding left. So I implore you to learn more about our program and get involved with us and help us keep putting magic in kids' hands. Thank you.
Commissioner Miller's got a question.
I think you said that 3,000 kids a month. Are those different kids, or is that some of them repeat?
Those are the same kids. So there's 2,987 kids currently enrolled as of today. And that is the Coffee County kids only. I'm not speaking for the state of Tennessee, just Coffee County.
But that's the number that's showing up?
Every single month, yes, sir.
That's what I was asking. Is it the same 3,000 kids, or is it 15 doing twice?
It's just one person, but we do have the ebb and flow with kids being born daily and kids turning 5 and aging out of the program where they no longer get the books. But on average, it's just one. Now, if they go into the foster care system, they get moved into a different portion of the program, and we do not have to pay for their book bills. The state pays for that with them being in the foster system. So we are currently paying for 987 kids roughly. And I think I flopped those numbers.
So I guess I didn't understand. Apparently, you're sending these to them. These are not children going to the library.
Correct. We are mailing the books to the children in their mailboxes.
Anybody have any more questions for Ms. Gregg? Yeah, Commissioner Brown.
Did you say what the cost was for that dinner? Is it a dinner?
The dinner, the adult tickets are $25 a piece. Students are 20, kids 10 and under are 10, and under 5 are free. February the 6th. And we do have sponsorship opportunities where you can do different tiers. They're cleverly named, if I do say so. But the lowest one is the Jolene tier, and that's $150, and that gets your business advertised on the table as well.
Miss Craig, isn't that dinner at First Baptist Church?
Yes, ma'am.
I think Dennis or the county mayor's already donated to you or give some money, so I'd like to buy 2 tickets. And just let everybody know this is a great program, and I want to challenge all the commissioners to do the same.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
So am I hearing you correctly? You're not going to ask the county to fund this as a line item to the budget. You're going to ask for donations.
Currently, yes. Eventually, we may put it as a budget and finance line item.
Anybody else got any questions for her? It's a great cause. Dolly does a good job with everything she touches, I think. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And I accept the commissioner's challenge to give to the cause.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. Okay. Now, statements and announcements from the commissioners.
I have one. Our January Budget and Finance meeting that was scheduled for the 22nd has been canceled, and I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
Commissioner Smith.
On January the 5th, you announced that you received a letter from TDEC in reference to a farm lake in Beech Grove that is attempting to bypass our local zoning laws. And I believe you asked our lawyer, county attorney, to send a letter to request a public hearing. So can you answer that, Mr. Williams?
Yeah, I've given a copy of the letter to the mayor, and I'll email a copy out to all of the commissioners.
I would like to add that all elected officials in the state of Tennessee have to, by January 31st, complete a statement of interest. So I'm just reminding all the commissioners that have not done that to try to remember to do that. And there are some officials that are not elected that have to do it. I think our county attorney does, don't you? Or do you?
I'll have to look and check
Yeah,
and see for a county
well,
attorney.
I know elected official, and I've brought this up to the Ethics Division of Tennessee State. Our Board of Zoning Appeals do not have to, and I do not understand that. You know, if you go in the drop-down box where you do your statement of interest, members of Board of Zoning Appeals are not there. And I just, it's an oversight that I feel like the legislature needs to fix, but it's not our duty. But I just wanted to mention that. But our planning commission members are not elected. They have to file statement of interest as well. So having said that, if there's no more statement of, statements or announcements, I guess we need a motion to adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Jones, seconded by Commissioner Hodge. Vote, please, so the meeting is officially closed. And did everybody's iPad stay up? Has anybody got a dead iPad? Tablet, I'm sorry. Do what? 1%. Okay, we have officially adjourned this meeting with 17 affirmative votes. Thanks, everyone.